listening to Pop This, the podcast where three women talk about pop culture. Here are your hosts, Lisa Christiansen, Andrea Gin, and Andrea Warner.
All right, so I have a confession.
Oh, exactly.
I love
Exciting.
starting out with these.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, good. So I know we were going to do the episode a little bit early, and I was at home, and I thought, well, you know, I have a little bit of time, and I'll just take a little nap, which I often do when it's, and I just woke up, and I don't know if you...
I woke up too, like 20 minutes ago.
Oh!
I had a 20-minute nap too.
Yes. And
Wow.
sometimes you come out of the nap feeling refreshed, and sometimes you come out of it feeling like, like worried. Like, what was that? What happened? Yeah. And so I'm in kind of the what happened stage. How about you?
I'm refreshed. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's for one, great to hear, Lisa, as the producer of the show.
That's
Love
why I
it.
called it a confession. I felt
I
it
love
was
it when the
important.
hosts say that. That's like the best thing you can hear.
You're a host. Are you saying you were being professional and you didn't nap before the episode?
I'm not a napper. I don't
Oh.
nap. I know that's like, I think some people either are nappers or they're not. I always feel I don't like napping in the middle of the day because I feel like discombobulated when I wake up.
I'm not
I
much of a
love
napper
napping.
usually, really. I just I didn't sleep super well last night, and so I had a little bit of downtime, and it just happened. It wasn't like I said, and now I will nap, because I know some people are like, I'm going for a nap.
Andrea Warner does
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
I do it
not
all the
me.
time.
I'm not that person. I just was laying there. I was more like just feeling like I was just gonna lay there, which is actually sadder, isn't it? Really. Just
There's
laying.
nothing sad about rest. I fully support any and all rest.
It was like I was really working hard on that corpse pose in yoga, just laying there. No stimulation, just me on my back.
That's perfect.
Not planning a nap, and then it just overwhelmed me. But it overwhelmed me in all those weird, vivid dreams.
Yeah, I had one of those bad naps last week. Somehow in the space of like a 15-minute nap, I like had really screwed up dreams about like a bunch of death and a bunch of weird stuff, and it was like quick. And when I woke up, I was so disturbed. I had set my alarm that I was allowed to nap for like an hour. And I woke up at 15 minutes and I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to do that again. It was terrible.
You know, the writer, the poet, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, what he used to do was he would put in his hand a lot of like metal ball bearings, and he would hold them in his hand, and then he would have a nap. And as he started to fall asleep, he would have those weird delusional dreams, but usually he would sleep through them. But with those in his hand, as he relaxed, his hand would open and drop them and wake him up. And then he would have access to those weird images he had just been dreaming.
A lot of his poetry makes more sense now.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't it? Really? I know. And because, I mean, when you have a little nap, you have those dreams. But if you were to ask me what they were right now, I can't recount them. I just know that something weird happened. But the good thing about the weird nap is that it reminded me of a fever dream, which is what this movie makes me think of. Perhaps it was perhaps it was all just a fever dream.
This movie, I have to say, like, well, we'll
Hall
get
of
into it.
Fame, classic.
Honestly, I love it so much. And I didn't realize how much my sister and I had watched it as children and teenagers until I realized that I knew every heartbeat. I had not forgotten a thing. I remembered like certain specific acting choices that SJP, like,
Oh, that is a bold statement to make, an acting choice. Okay.
these Honestly, I think this is one of SJP's greatest performances.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Wow. Okay, yeah, let's get into this.
I'm Andrea Warner.
I'm Lisa Christiansen.
I'm Andrea Gin.
And if you hadn't already guessed it, we're talking about Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
I can't believe it's taken. We've done over 300 episodes, and it's taken us this long to get to this movie because it seems so pop this movie.
It does. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
we nothing we like more than a good dance movie. We have established
rom-com dance
a
film.
rom-com dance movie. Oh, yeah.
yeah, like honestly, this takes me back to our first year and those like that glorious fight about Footloose versus Dirty Dancing. Any number of other rom-com dance films. We still haven't done Center Stage ever. We've saved some. We know
Or
that there's
Save the Last Dance. We also have to do.
we haven't done
too.
Save the Last Dance. We never did Honey. We got a lot.
Why have we done like 600 musicals in the last year? And we haven't done like all these amazing dance movies.
I mean, Andrea Gin.
What are those ones with with Channing Tatum? What are those ones?
Magic Mike?
No.
Oh, because those are great too.
No. The other ones with like no, he's dating some girl and they're both dancers.
Well, him and his ex-wife.
Yeah.
I think that they picked up the Save the Last Dance franchise, maybe.
Oh, that's it then. Okay.
I think it's like
yeah.
different. I mean, I won't say for sure. Because like the only thing I've really ever enjoyed Channing Tatum in is Magic Mike. Because I know this is a very harsh thing that I'm about to say. His head's super weird. I just can't handle it. It's like it's just like.
I never heard anyone say that. I don't even think a lot of people are looking at his head. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I know. But I guess like I'm also not really into sort of like, you know, muscly sort of like
Have you seen
hairless boys? Sorry?
Have you seen the trailer for The Lost City, that new movie with Sandra Bullock?
Yes.
That actually looks kind of funny. I think I might see it.
That may be funny. And I think like that's why one of the reasons why I really enjoy Magic Mike is like it's him being funny, but also him dancing. And I am a sucker for those movies where people come together to work on a craft and like kind of hustle hard. I enjoy that.
And you're talking about him as a furniture maker.
Yes.
Yeah. Not as a dancer.
But then as a dancer, so he can save his... I can't remember the...
It's kind of like Flashdance, only she needed to weld.
Yeah. And I did really enjoy Magic Mike. I never saw Magic Mike 2 though.
No, I never saw Magic Mike
No.
1. Which is weird.
You never saw...
Really?
No, and I should, because I do like Steven Soderbergh movies an awful lot. I started watching it and I just got bored. I was bored. But I suppose I should...
Wow.
I suppose I could try again. I'm not trying to be, funny or anything. It's just that when it got to the part where he was telling this dull girl about his furniture making, I was like, I don't care at all. Like I've got no reason to continue with this.
How dare any large-headed man have a conversation with a dull girl about furniture making? You love furniture making.
I know I do, and that's why I was so surprised that it wasn't captivating me.
You know what?
But
Maybe it
didn't.
was just like maybe it just won't captivate you ever, or maybe it was just like a bad day for you.
It might have been because it has all the ingredients for something I would like. You know me, when I get to Vegas, I cannot wait to get to those men's reviews. So.
Well, but you might have also like maybe needed to watch it with like a bunch of your friends, like to have it be kind of silly
with a bachelorette party.
With some money in my hand.
Yeah.
Yelling, make it rain, boys. Like that kind of thing.
I mean, I think when you yell "Make it rain" at the TV screen, that's too interactive. But anyways,
I
back
feel like
to girls just want to have fun.
I feel like this vignette about switching off Magic Mike because it's too boring, like, does not bode well for this series of Oscar movies that we're gonna watch over the next month.
We're gonna take things down a little. We're gonna
we're in trouble.
This is our last hurrah of some crazy B movie stuff here.
I don't know how Lisa's gonna make it through.
Yeah, this might be rough. It might be a rough go, but okay. Girls just want to have fun.
Yeah.
I can't believe this movie didn't come up at all during our Dirty Dancing episodes.
Well,
It's not that popular of a movie, though.
Yeah, like I know that I saw it and watched it like 1,000 times with my sister and some of our friends, but I feel like I haven't met that many people who've seen it. And for a long time, you couldn't really, like, it wasn't streaming. And that's why, and I feel like I have talked about it before and I have suggested it, but it wasn't streaming anywhere and we couldn't, like, get it.
Right.
And that was a number of years ago. And then that's why I was so excited when you told me that you saw it on Amazon and had watched it, because, like, thrilling. I guess I'm not paying attention to what gets added to Amazon and other things enough, you know?
Yeah. It just seems like it's such a, like, it came out before Dirty Dancing, and you can sort of see how it established, like, all these tropes for rom-com dance movies.
So
and Dirty Dancing is not comedy,
and this
though.
predates Footloose too and everything, right?
No, Footloose was 84.
This is 85.
So Flashdance apparently 83, Footloose 84, this is 85, Dirty Dancing 86.
Okay.
If not 87, now that I think about it, but I can't remember exactly.
Sarah Jessica Parker at her peak doing Footloose and this movie back to back.
Back to back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she was coming off the teen show Square Pegs. And and I actually, because I'm a bit of a dork, even though you wrote a great outline, AG, I was like, I have more questions. So then I went and just did a quick little research. And the script is written by Amy Spies, but apparently there's an uncredited screenwriter for it, which is why Sarah Jessica Parker came on board. Janice Hirsch was a screenwriter on Square Pegs, and she is uncredited on this, but that's why Sarah Jessica Parker signed up for Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And there's like a little quote, Janice wasn't into depicting people my age being stupid. I was impressed with her fondness for two best friends who aren't competitive. And honestly, that's one of the things that I love most about this movie is, like, they're never in competition for, like, a boy, because that's dumb and doesn't have to be, like, you know, this movie full on passes the Bechdel test before there was a Bechdel test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't believe you watched this movie 1,000 times and you kind of landed in I don't like Helen Hunt movies as an adult.
Well, so I would like to defend myself just a tiny bit. And I know we talked about this during Twister. And I do love Helen Hunt in this movie. And then she did Mad About You. And I hated Mad About You. And I used to hate Twister. But then I came around on Twister when we watched it together.
Mad About You is the most banal thing. That's like hating, like, vanilla coffee or something. I don't know.
Which I hate. I actually really despise vanilla coffee.
It's just so bland. It's like hating air.
But that's the thing is, like, I think that even though, like, certain elements of my taste are pretty basic, overall, I hate the feeling of something that is, like, just utterly interesting. And so I just associated Helen Hunt with that for, like, a long time. I also did not care for, I don't, honestly, maybe part of it was, like, a weird jealousy, since I did have a fondness for Jack Nicholson for a long time. And then she got to play his love interest in that other terrible movie.
Something's Gotta Get, no,
it was,
I thought it was something like, you gotta give it away, or I've got this.
As good as it gets.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't like her in that either. I don't know. I just went through a real phase where I was like, oh, this is the best thing she ever did. And then it just got real dull. sad. She's great.
I don't know if she would agree with you on that because she won an Oscar for
Twister.
yeah, for Twister. No, for As Good as It Gets,
should
right?
have.
I know, but she deserved it for Twister. Now that I have rewatched that.
Well, yeah, I'm not
love
gonna go.
Twister.
I'm not gonna quite go with snubs on this one. I'm sorry.
But okay, in this movie, she is so cool. Like her fashion.
She is very cool.
she's great.
amazing.
Yeah, she doesn't care about anything. She is the coolest person.
Yeah, she's super, super cool, and I love her, and I love her as like a comedic sidekick, and I love SJP as like the straight man, goody two shoes, and I think their dynamic is so fun. And anyway, we haven't done the background or the synopsis or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've really jumped way in. It's because
Well,
this
I
movie's
think
so good.
anyone figured out though it's a movie about girls having fun. So
It sure is.
Based
It sure
on
is.
the song of the same name.
It absolutely. Which I know that I just said we have to do the background and synopsis. Did you know that song is like Cyndi Lauper? That's a cover.
what?
Really?
Yeah, I found this out last night. Carlos told me last night. Girls Just Want to Have Fun is actually written and performed by an American musician named Robert Hazard as a single in 1979. And then
Are you
Cyndi Lauper released
Mind
it.
blown. Mind blown.
Yeah.
Wow. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Is the real one up somewhere? Can you hear it?
Yeah, we listened to it last night. It's not good. Stopped after a few minutes.
So she didn't even write the song. I just always assumed she wrote it.
Nope, she did
But
not.
that guy must be living like so well off of royalties from Cyndi Lauper's cover of the song.
Oh yeah, he has he's done fine.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
If you're some pop star records your song and then you can just like retire.
He's dead now. I'll just say. He died in 2008, but he started out as apparently a Dylan era folkie, and then tried a bunch of different genres, and Cyndi Lauper, changed his life.
And then some. Wow. Okay.
And then they wrote this movie based on this the song.
They sure did. They
this
sure did.
Amazing, incredible movie.
Yeah, it's a rare movie that's based on a song, isn't it? Usually there's like a movie and then they put a song in it, or they maybe write a song for a movie.
There are a few instances, but because I know I'm in my head, it's like pinging, but I'd have to look it up. I know that there are a couple for sure, but it is kind of a rarity for sure. Anyway, okay, background. Girls Just Want to Have Fun is a 1985 American rom-com dance film directed by Alan Metter and written by Amy Spies. Stars Sarah Jessica Parker, Lee Montgomery, Morgan Woodward, Jonathan Silverman, Shannon Doherty, and Helen Hunt. It grossed $1.7 million its opening weekend, $6.3 million worldwide against a budget of $5 million. It made money. It did receive generally negative reviews. 38% approval rating based on 13 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, but it became a cult hit.
Little did they know it would be the most influential film of its time.
Of Andrea Warner's entire life.
Truly.
Yes. All right.
Would one of you like to read the synopsis?
Sure, I'll do that. Goody Janie dreams of being on dance TV, but her strict army dad forbids her from partaking in any nightlife. The good news is that her rebellious friend Lynn encourages her to follow her heart and compete. The better news is that she gets paired with natural talent Dreamboat Jeff as a semi-finalist contestant. The bad news is that some weird poodle who walks on her hind legs and what am I reading?
It's a bit of an editorial.
Okay, so
Synopsis.
there's a rich girl who is her rival. And I believe that is the poodle that walks on her hind legs and owns a Lexus. Were there Lexuses then?
I don't know.
Rigged the whole competition. Will Janie really be able to make it on dance TV, or are these obstacles simply too large to overcome? Okay, well, that was from Marie Grace Garris from Bustle. So thanks for that.
Okay, so I know AG has seen it. Lisa, had you ever seen this film before?
Never.
Well, it was the first time I saw this film too.
Yeah. No, I know. But I knew that you had seen it, and I knew.
No,
I just wanted to see if Lisa had ever seen it before.
No, negatory. I had never seen this before.
Well, I'd love to know, both of you, what were your first impressions?
My mind was blown that I had never seen or heard of this film before, because it had so many. It was hilarious throughout. The fashion is classic, and it is like the basis of every rom-com dance film that ever came after it. Plus, it has Sarah Jessica Parker, Helen Hunt, and a baby Shannon Doherty in it. Like, there's just so many incredible elements coming together in this film. It should be like a classic that we watch in a theater with an audience and do some kind of like live discussion afterwards to like unpack this movie.
I agree. Lisa, how about you?
Yeah, it deserves that like red yarn treatment where it's put up in the center and then all of the movies that came from it, you know?
Yeah.
And then we'll have some pointer conversations where we whack the thing. It also had that sort of cheap feel of a horror movie too from the 80s. You could have also expected, you know, something really terrible to happen as opposed to just the terrible punk rock.
I knew you'd love that part the most.
It just is. Yeah, it was. And, you know, I got to say, with the title, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, there's no one having fun in this movie. Everyone is working very, very, very hard. This is a very serious movie. This is a lot. This is a lot of people skulking around, trying to get dancing, to practicing, to going to competitions, to working out plans to ruin other people's lives. This is a very, very busy movie. People are action filled. They cannot stop. This is a lot of work, this movie. That's my final assessment.
I mean, I as someone who like who thinks that is fun, I think it lives up to the title. Like the idea of like spending a bunch of time dancing and then like trying to defy your parents against like completely kind of arbitrary rules and you know, finding some kind of like girl power triumph. Man.
My guess is also that the parents would have wanted to see some return on their investment because presumably she'd had dance, tap, ballet, gymnastics. I mean,
for sure.
You don't just run up there on the stage and do all those flips without having some kind of training.
Yeah, she'd been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah. And her parents, you figure, would have been all, well, that was the point, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's she definitely seems like a trained gymnast.
Yeah.
For sure. Wait, Lisa, you texted me at one point, why do parents hate dance?
It's just like, they're so upset about dance. You're either dancing too much, you're going to the dance, you're dancing around the house.
All euphemisms for sex. That's what
I know.
all
Yeah,
these are.
I think it's true. Like it's just because like there's a thing about like the dance being a sexual awakening, for these teenagers, like in Footloose, in Dirty Dancing, this movie. And I think like the 80s really cemented this idea that like dancing is a sexual
Lambada,
thing.
the
Yeah,
forbidden dance.
Yeah.
When it's not necessarily so.
Well, that's actually kind of like one of the things that I really honestly did grow up thinking, like even going to like my first, like, well, when I had to like do that thing where like me and my class fought to have like our grade 7 dance after the principal like
Go over that story.
Dancing. I know I've told you the story, but I remember.
No, let's hear it.
Your principal band dancing?
So in grade 7, so to the best of my recollection, and I believe that my mother would back me up on this. I was elected student council president, and then the principal dissolved our student government, and it was
Because
quite a
of you?
controversy. Well, I thought it was because of me. I don't know what her real motivations were. We did not get along. Anyways, so my issues with authority have existed for a very long time. So she
on.
dissolved our whole student government. And
Can
then
you imagine being an adult and dissolving a grade 7 student government? Anyway, continue.
well, and the grade 6, 5, and 4. Like, we had student government from grade 4 through 7. She dissolved the entire thing. Anyway, she also then canceled all of our grade 7 graduation. Like, there was no grade 7 graduation ceremony. There was no grade
You
7
have no
graduation
memory
dance.
as to why, like what the motivation was for this
I
bold
honestly
action?
do. It was some kind of like, it just like, I don't remember what her motivations were, but I know that we all felt like it was like a real power grab. It was just like, she didn't like us, we didn't like her, and it felt wrong. So
I want to see this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and some of my classmates, and then a bunch of parents, my mom, my friends Jessica and Will, their mom, Mrs. Leong, and Douglas Chang and his mom and his sister Lisa. Anyway, a bunch of people all came together. We did a lot of different, like, we did like a car wash, and we did a bunch of different fundraising, and the parents supported us renting the gym at Sunset Community Center across the field from our elementary school, and we all walked out at noon and like had our own dance, and like,
Wow.
yeah, it was epic.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is us against the system, and I was so excited, and I loved it, and that was like and seeing how it worked like that, like, and it actually did pay off, and like we all had like a really great time. But we did that awkward thing where like you go into the community center, like huge gymnasium, and like we walked in with our like little dates, and then all the boys went on one side and girls went on the other side. And Douglas Chang's older sister, she was like, I don't know, I think like a 17 or 18-year-old girl, and super cool, like the coolest girl we'd all ever seen. She was just like, we gotta get dancing, guys. This is what you fought for. And then we like all danced, and I honestly thought it was supposed to be like this is the first time people's clothed genitals are gonna touch. Like, this is like,
You were consciously thinking that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I
boy.
grew up watching
Okay.
soap operas, and I saw
Yeah.
Footloose when I was like 6. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you
but I
hear in your
remember
head, I had
yeah,
time of
it was
my
supposed to, it was
life.
kind of
Did it-
supposed to all be like that.
Did your date rip off his sleeves of his shirt?
No, but like, it was just like, yeah, I think his mom made him go with me, but that was nice. Anyway, I really appreciated it. But it was like really cute and really fun. And the photo of me is hideous. I don't know if you've ever, well, I know both of you have not been a 12-year-old fat kid in 1991, but I was. And the only outfit you could really get was at, like the sort of like older lady plus size store at that time. So I am wearing a white crepey short set with a blazer jacket and a floral a floral shirt.
You sound like someone who works at a hotel in the concierge.
Yes, yeah. And I had white pantyhose and like white pointy shoes.
What? Do you have that picture handy
I
that we
do somewhere, yes, and
post it?
I do somewhere, yes, and I will try to find it. But matching with my like white rimmed glasses, oh my god, it's a lot of look, I gotta say.
I need to see that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyways, but yeah, I really thought that I thought honestly like fighting for your right to dance was basically the coolest thing you could ever do.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
But okay, so did someone at any time during this dance, like what kind of dancing was happening? Did someone run across the stage and do a bunch of backflips?
No.
Did they slide on their knees just across the room?
No,
Did anyone
it was
burst
it was
through a paper
very,
wall?
No, it was very classic, hands on shoulders, hands on waist, 2 feet between you. I also should confess right now that I also had a small girl dance group with my sister, my friend Akiko, and maybe my friend Jessica, I can't remember. And the four of us did a routine to Girls Just Want to Have Fun that we performed for the school.
Is there any video of that kicking around?
I don't think so.
So this entire watching the movie is just your nostalgia trip. We're basically just watching your life.
I mean, my dream life. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, like, Jeff, dreamy, you know? He was...
Well, he was like 40 though, so that's going to be a problem.
I just looked at his age, and he was 24 when this
24?
movie was made. So,
Okay.
yeah, he's
Wow.
He's not as old, but yeah, he was pretty old.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, he's like 17 years old, but full chest hair. That's like unusual.
that hairline was on its way though, even at 24.
Did you guys know that the guy who played his dad is Tom from Gilmore Girls, like the construction worker, or not the
No.
guy who does all the building?
Oh, okay. Wow, small world.
As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Tom!" Then I had to look it up.
Apparently, Cyndi Lauper had a cameo as a woman in the diner, but I didn't see that.
I don't think so, because I was just reading that she refused to let them use her version of the song, and
She's
wouldn't...
listed as part of the cast.
Oh, weird. They must have talked her into it after. That's cool.
Robert Downey Jr. is one of the punk party crashers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Gina Gershon is one of the dancers.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't even know she was a dancer.
I had no idea either.
Oh, God. That scene of crashing, it was just
Amazing.
it is amazing. I have to, I'll give you that.
Like, honestly, the scene of the crashing, the way that they arrive by doing punk circus arts through a window, then it's not just the punks that have shown up, who also have a choreographed dance routine, by the way, which I thought was nice of them.
Quite something.
Honestly, nice of them to arrive with that.
Yeah.
But then when the muscle women show up, that might be one of my favorite details.
Carrying the couch around with the older couple, like, I don't... And why not? Why couldn't they use the door?
I mean, you know, sometimes you look at a door and you're like, I'm going to go through it.
Why couldn't they just eat some
Fully.
food or have a few hors d'oeuvres? Why'd they have to put their foot in a turkey? Like, I found myself
Punks.
very confused. They legitimately had invitations. They did not need to go through that entire rigmarole.
I know. And yet there was something so chaotic and wonderful, because, like, you know that the people throwing this party are so snobby, awful, and, like, just so classist. And I know that it's mean to just, like, wreak havoc for havoc's sake, but at the same time, there's something very pleasurable about watching that man get the blueberry pie in his face and then watching Jeff try to, like, wipe it off. Like,
Well, it got Veruca Salt all upset, so that's all that matters.
what is that dress she's wearing? Did you look at that dress she's wearing at her debutante ball?
Yeah.
Like, also, how is that a debutante ball?
Yeah, where are
Yeah.
all the other debutantes?
Yeah, it's
It didn't. It looked like their dad was having some party to celebrate the yacht club or something. Like,
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
where was this filmed? Like somewhere in California, right?
I actually have no idea. Like,
I know they
that's-
kept saying it was set in Chicago, where this is where the dance thing was, but it definitely had a look of LA. But maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I have no idea. This is really the first time that I've even dug into the back of it at all, the back end of it at all. Oh my God, I just saw that Hank Azaria was in it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man in bar.
That's paying your dues there. Paying your dues. Yeah. Well, considering this is the first movie of the dance tropes, I do give it credit for creating those tropes that we even love today. And you have a list of them here in the outline, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jessica Roki and Vulture wrote about it and listed sort of several key characteristics that appeared in all rom-com dance movies after this, including, like, it starts with the naive, dance-besotted heroine. I think we
Yeah.
all recognize that.
Yep.
Sassy best friend.
Yeah.
Love it.
Check.
Rich snob / romantic rival.
Yep.
Annoying / endearing younger sibling.
Love it.
Sleeve issuing, initially infuriating blue collar love interest / dance partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the heroine's dance, and in brackets, and sexual awakening.
Woohoo.
And then, of course, the falling in love dance montage.
Yes.
This
All of that
dance,
there. Yeah.
this dance montage, like, did you guys not lose your minds when, like, it suddenly became what could only really be described as, like, a douche commercial? Like, they're, like, dancing through the trees and then rolling down a hill together, and then the lift.
It culminates in a lift.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The lift was a lot.
Oh my god, the lift was so much. But you know, I'm actually going to be, like, legitimately, I know that, yes, there's nostalgia for me in this film, but I also just, like, you know how so many things we watch that we used to love that we're just like, whoa, that has not aged well. Like, mostly this movie is still a real pleasure for me.
With the
Like,
exception of the tune in Tokyo.
oh, I mean, obviously the, like, horrific behavior of Jonathan Silverman's character
Yeah.
and, like, him Gropey McGee. I like that he never, like, the woman hits him immediately, and
Yeah.
he's like, he's supposed to be gross. I know he's also supposed to be kind of funny, but, like, for the most part, he's supposed to be, like, gross, you know? And yes, there is a through line between him and, like, Barney Stinson of How I Met Your Mother, but you're right. He has not aged well, but the rest of the movie is still very pleasurable.
I will agree with you. Yeah.
And, like, so these are the moments where I genuinely think, like, Sarah Jessica Parker is, like, brilliant in this. So, and they're very specific moments, so bear with me. The first moment is when she thinks that Jeff is talking to her in line, and then she realizes he's talking to the blonde woman behind her, and then she, like, snorts and says, "I want to die." And they're both killing themselves laughing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was so cute and so fun, and I really liked it. When they're in the mall just being, like, little teen chaos demons and, like, running down the up escalator and being, like, really silly. When they're talking about their favorite dance couples and, like, who Frenched who, and, like, how cute is that? And then when they're doing, like, their dance practicing, and Jeff finally nails the backflip that she's, like, holding his back. For some reason, she's holding his back at the small of his back. I don't really know. But the shot is just, like, framed that it's, like, his butt and her eyebrows going up and down, being, like, really excited.
I didn't really notice that.
There's, like, some really key fun moments that I think are really kind of inspired acting choices that really keep her rooted as, like, a teen girl, that are very realistic and really fun. And she never sells teen girls short. Neither does, like, Helen Hunt as Lynn. And the movie doesn't really sell them short, which is pretty nice.
No, they stay friends, yeah.
I had kind of forgotten that Sarah Jessica Parker has had a career as a teen child star. You know, like, she's had a long career.
Said the same thing. Yeah. I'd forgotten about that. And she was in Annie on Broadway, right?
Yeah. She's done a lot, and for a long time. Like, and I mean, I still haven't finished the new Sex and the City. I honestly haven't gone back to it because.
Well, I hate watched that entire show. So
did you?
Yes.
Well, I will talk about it with you at some point because I do want to finish it.
Ask me anything, as they say. Ask me anything.
I want to finish it, and then I do want to talk about it more. But
Yeah.
it's I mean, I think like some of my favorite things about some of Sarah Jessica's acting styles are really like from this movie, like, and that she has carried on. Because I think she does, even though like Carrie can be terrible, I still think Sarah Jessica Parker does a very good job, like as an actor in most of the things I've seen her in.
Yeah.
She commits.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so interesting to see an actor's like kind of core persona and their acting skills in the stuff they do when they're younger and how they develop over time. And like it's especially interesting because like she's so distinct. Like even though she's played a bunch of different roles throughout her career that we've seen her in, there's still something very essential about Sarah Jessica Parker in all of those roles.
Yeah. And I think I like it best when she, like, I know that, like, I mean, I think The Family Stone has not aged well at all. Pretty terrible movie. She's very good in it. You know what I mean? Like, and I really, and she does get to sort of like be a variety of different people and a variety of different performances. But like when she's Rusty, the best friend in Footloose, and she's like, you remember that bar scene in Footloose where they're all dancing at the country bar and like, she's sitting like up on the like ledge watching everyone dance, and she's sort of like kicking her feet and she's having a good time, and finally she's just like, I gotta dance. She leaves Willard and she goes to go have a good time. Like, I just think she really makes cool, fun choices, and I like to see that. And I don't know, I feel like I've followed her whole career at this point, and it's always been distinct. And her.
Yeah, and I feel like the same could be said for Helen Hunt. Like, you can see she's got this like cool, confident girl kind of, you know, persona about her that I think is present in all the movies that she does.
An odd movie choice for Helen Hunt because she's and Lynn Stone in the credits. Because it's not a big part. It's just a very goofy part. It's just kind of like she's a fairy godmother in a way throughout this movie. I'll admit to being very alarmed of the baby and the pizza scene. That seemed like there weren't very good babysitters.
Oh, terrible babysitters.
Yes.
Like I don't think you'd trust Lynn with your kid. But I like this. To me, in 1985, I can't think of like what Helen Hunt was really doing at that point. Like, I think this is like kind of like a big break for her on some level. Like,
She must have been doing something to end up being and Helen Hunt.
she was, because Sarah Jessica Parker wanted her. Like, apparently, like according to Helen Hunt, Sarah Jessica Parker specifically wanted her cast. And she, Hunt says she was allowed to get really creative with who Lynn was. So she went out, she bought all these European magazines, and then she did everything that wasn't in them. So she...
Oh, very funny.
Yeah. She said and I knew that I had to do that. I had to have it for myself and bring a sense of fun into the picture. So she bought Tofuti, the healthy ice cream, to the set, got a lot of tapes from Towered Records, and it helped. She says, quote, when you're making a comedy and it's 2 a.m. and you're tired and nothing's going right, there's no way you can cut ahead and think, boy, this is going to be exciting when it comes out.
Yeah.
That's like really cool that she, she made some really smart choices. Apparently they were looking for a Goldie Hawn type, but Sarah Jessica Parker said she would kill to work with her.
And just to update people, I just noticed here that Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun tops 1 billion YouTube views.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not even her version in the film. Like, it's 3 other really, like, kind of vaguely anonymous random singers.
Yeah, I wonder.
And it doesn't come up that often.
So Helen Hunt was working. She was a child actress in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
Did you also know that Jeff Moline is Canadian? He is played by Lee Montgomery. He's a U.S.-based Canadian actor.
Huh.
He no longer acts, but...
He reminded me of that Joey Lawrence.
I think he was cast because he looks like a fourth Lawrence brother. So you know that the Lawrence family, like Joey Lawrence, Matthew Lawrence, and there was a third one, and they all acted in the like late 70s, 80s, and 90s. I think he was cast because he looks like a fourth Lawrence brother.
Yeah,
for sure. Like it's honestly spitting image.
I agree.
He had a very cute smile. He had that. Yeah, I definitely can see why he was cast. And obviously, what a dancer. Woo! Right?
Wait, we haven't talked about the dancing at all, even though we've talked around it.
And that's good. That's probably good. You know, the budget on this movie that really alarmed me is in the big final dance scene. The music is, they dance all to the same song. Like, they obviously had no budget for anything else. Yeah. And it was an awful song. It was an awful, awful song.
Not a good song. And also, it's weird that you would have them do dance-offs in little segments.
Yeah.
Like, they keep coming back and forth. And also, is it a dance competition or a gymnastics competition?
But like the dancing style of this movie is so curious because like even in the auditions, like people are doing all different kinds of like ballet dancing, you know, like country dancing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it had that Fame audition look to it, didn't it?
For sure. Yeah. You know what? I think it does have like, it does borrow from Fame too a little bit, I think, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Or when the nuns do when the nun does the like
gymnastics.
Yeah, the gymnastics.
That was a lot. I have to say, I really like.
She's having fun.
She's having a great time.
I really like the girl's PE outfit. I love those little red shorts and that white blouse.
Those are cute.
I thought that was just like one of the cutest things in the whole world. And here she is embarrassed to go and talk to Jeff. And he's probably like, that is so hot.
Totally.
I know.
It's a super cute outfit. And also, actually, can we also talk a little tiny bit about some of the fashion? Because like, so I am still to this day obsessed with both the bright blue cardigan that she wears when her dad catches her having food in the kitchen in the middle of the night. Like, I still think that cardigan is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. And I also really love, I mean, I know it's gratuitous, but like the hot pink t-shirt or tank top and blue underwear combo she's wearing when she's like being sad.
That was a lot.
But a great color. Like, I mean, actually, weirdly enough, those are kind of like, they were like kind of our wedding accent colors. But I also just, I wonder, oh my God, do you think this movie influenced my wedding? Jesus.
I think her brother's always going to remember that. That's for sure.
Wait, you didn't hang out with your brother in your very tiny underwear?
I never called him a perv. I'll tell you that much. Little Zach.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Did he walk in on you while you were in the bathtub a
lot?
No,
he did not. He did not. He
then
would
maybe
not
he
have.
didn't. Maybe he didn't earn the word perv.
Yes, he did not. Yes, he just earned the distinct pleasure of being an annoying younger brother.
Exactly.
Very average. Very average.
Well, okay. I know the time has come. I know for me this movie still pops.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a classic. I'm going to watch it over again at some point. It's going to go in a regular rotation.
I might watch it again just because of how silly it was. So yes. All right.
So does it pop?
Sure, it'll pop. It's the beginning. It's the ground zero of all of the dance movies, of course.
Yeah. This is a seminal film.
I agree.
I have no choice but to agree.
I'm so excited we finally did this, you guys. I needed this. I'm not gonna lie. I needed this. also love to leave our episodes on stuff we recommend as well. Lisa, would you like to go first?
Sure. I am reading a book by a British writer named Kate Atkinson called When Will There Be Good News? And it's one of her, detective novels. And it's just one of those real page turners. And there's a detective inspector, Louise Monroe, looking for something that happened. Anyway, I'm going to say a high recommendation for just a good British murder mystery, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? I've been watching enough of them, and these Nords.
I'm going to read one.
These
Yeah.
Scandinavians.
Yeah.
I want to read one too.
There you go.
I get it. I get it. AG, what about you?
So it's the Olympics, and there's figure skating on.
Your time to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to show you both. My sister bought me this Yuzuru Hanyu lapel pin.
Oh,
Wow.
It was made by a fan.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Anyway, the Olympics. So anyways, it'll be mostly over by the time this episode comes out. But I wanted to recommend this great podcast, or I guess it's like a YouTube show that I listen to, but it's like two dudes talking. So it's about skating. It's called The Skating Lesson, and the hosts are David Leese and Jonathan Byer, and they pretty much put a summary up of like every skating event that happens the next day. Like they're on YouTube chatting about it, and they have like all this like insider information and knowledge, and they're just really funny and really. They're kind of mean sometimes, but it's a really highly enjoyable show to watch, especially if you want to keep up with figure skating.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought of you frequently. I haven't watched any figure skating yet, but I'm going to, because I like that you can go through the gem thing for CBC and just like watch all the events you care about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's handy. I haven't checked that out yet. Okay.
It's actually very handy. Like,
But I
not
can't
to
get
make
Gem
this-
on my TV, only on my computer, which is very annoying.
Oh, I have it on our TV.
Yeah, but I have
you
a
got an
Roku.
Apple TV?
No.
Oh, I don't know what their Roku situation is.
They don't
It's bad.
do
They
Roku.
don't do Roku.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. I am going to recommend something a little bit silly, but it just arrived yesterday and I love it. This is a vintage book called Happy Birthday, Miss Piggy.
Oh.
It is. Carlos got it for me. He found it on like, I don't know, eBay or A-Books or something like that. It's a flap book. So it doesn't have, it's a flap book, not a flip book. Sorry. So there are little flaps.
Oh, little windows and doors.
Little doors and little windows. And it's like a children's book all about Miss Piggy's birthday. And he got it for me for my birthday. And you are invited to Miss Piggy's birthday party. Lift the flaps to unwrap Miss Piggy's presents from all her Muppet pals. Anyway, I had never seen it, as far as I know, nor do I think I'd ever owned it when I was a child. Look at how cool Miss Piggy looks.
Wow.
Wow,
for
those
her
are some
birthday.
sunglasses. Yeah.
Those are some sunglasses. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm digging into like my hopeful collection of essays about Miss Piggy, and so this is some good inspiration material, and I'm gonna finally start doing more writing about it this year. So anyway, this is what I'm recommending.
I am looking forward to that.
Happy
so
birthday,
much.
Miss Piggy.
I love it. And I have loved this whole episode. And I'm going to
Me
go
too.
and dance.
With no sleeves.
No, never.
Tear all the sleeves off your clothes immediately, and then
Yeah.
go
You can,
rip
like,
it up.
And I'm
Do
glad
a
I bought
lift
that
with
motorcycle
cash.
too. Yeah. Oh, just slow mo it too. Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. You can hang out with us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, etc. You could email us at popthiscollective@gmail.com if there are any things that you would like us to think about doing for future episodes.
And a big thanks to Andrea Gin for producing, hosting, and not napping before the episode. So. Somebody's got to be sharp.
Yeah, someone's got to be awake on this crew.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So thank you for all of that and more. And thank you to all of you for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.